working in the field of environment. Through the webinars, this is our first webinar wherein we are going to let you know a new technology for particulate collection. It's a dry technology which is highly efficient to capture particles PM 2.5. This has been tried first time in India on a very difficult application which we would be discussing as a part of the presentation in next few minutes time now. Friends, to me and my team, all of you who have joined on this platform in the morning of Saturday are the real green heroes. They are our green heroes who have come forward to learn something new for the sake of our Mother Earth, to make this planet a better place to live in. Thank you very much. Thank you once again for joining and showing your appetite for learning new things. Now let me start today's presentation on EGB. What is EGB? EGB is a short form of electrified gravel bed precipitator. The objective of this presentation to appraise you all about a new technology which has a great potential to be used as a polishing filter to control very, very fine particulate matters, even below 2.5 micron, in a difficult situations or in a difficult applications. My presentation would last for about 50 minutes, followed by question and answer session. To all my friends, you can hold your questions for the question and answer session and put the questions in the chat box. As I already told, please select your chat box and select an option for panelists and attendees. You can go right now, whoever has not done it yet. You can select the option for panelists and attendees. This will enable you to see questions from other participants also on this platform so that you can get to know the type of questions and the reply from my side. Whoever has done it, please type yes in the chat box so that I know that everybody has done it. If someone is yet to do, please do it now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let us start the learning, today's learning on EGB. As you can, friends, as you can see on the screen, first let me ask you, am I audible? Is it clear to everyone? If yes, please write in the chat box so that I can move forward if everything, my voice is clear to you. Okay, thank you. Thank you once again for the quick response. Yes, we start our learning on EGB. As I told you, EGB is electrified gravel bed precipitator. So we would be learning on this particular technology which has been tested and tried successfully in India on a very difficult operation in recent past. We would also be learning today a hybrid model of EGB which is called MEPA. This includes a normal dry ESP plus EGB is nothing but a MEPA, and MEPA is maximum efficiency particulate abatement system. So let us start our journey for new learning today. Before I start, before I start our journey for the new technology today, let me take you back to the technology progression on air pollution control in India. If you see on the screen, there are two types of technologies which are prevailing in the air pollution control spectrum. The first one is dry separation technology, and the second one is wet separation technology. These are the two types of categories which are prevailing in the market. And in the dry separation technologies, in 60s, it is started from gravity settling chambers. Particularly in many industries, the boiler, after the boiler, a gravity settling chambers were created, and the bigger particles were separated by taking an advantage of sudden reduction in velocity and then taking a directional change of the gases. And this gravity settling chamber and dry separation technology progressed as the years passes to cyclonic separator, we all know, multi-cyclone, and then back filters, and then dry ESP. So the latest in the dry separation technology is EGB or MEPA, which we would be discussing in detail today. When you come to the wet separation technology, it is started from wet cyclone. What happens, the dry cyclones, when people wanted to have a better efficiency, what converted into a wet cyclone by spraying water and then changing the density of the particles and then collecting a better collection rate. So it started from wet cyclone, then as it progressed, the HEV came into the picture. HEV is high energy venturi scrubbers. So HEVs are being used today also in many industry, but it has a little limitation on certain quantity and quality of dust particulates, particularly on very fine particulate. It needs a large amount of water pressure drop. That means the large amount of power consumption. That is why there was a need of improving the design on scrubbers. So it came to spray scrubbers, which has a lower efficiency, lower pressure drop, and power consumption. Then in 90s, sieve tray scrubbers came into the picture, and this was originated at Dorala Sugar Works in 1990. The first installation on a gas-fired boiler was done there. And it followed to FBNT scrubbers, that is fluidized bed nitrate scrubbers, which are still existing in plenty in the sugar industry and other biomass industry applications. Then the latest in the series of scrubbers technology is the FBS, which is a fixed vane scrubber, which has a very high efficiency on high dust loading as well as having a very simple operation. And the latest in the series of wet separation technology is wet electrostatic precipitator, which we call it as a WESP. So these two new technology, relatively new technology for Indian market, is EGB, MEPA, and the wet ESP. Today we will be discussing EGB, and maybe in our next webinar we would be taking up the wet ESP on 1st of May. For that we will be separately discussing and talking to you. Friends, having come to know about the technology progression of air pollution control in India, you know the technologies which are used at the moment at most of the places are either wet scrubber, ESP, or back filters. But when it comes to a difficult characteristics of ash, when it comes to typical nature of dust particulates, these technology has got certain concerns. And those characteristics are, if you see on the right hand side of the screen, these concerns become more heavier when it is very ultra fine particles with a light density. When I say ultra fine, I mean below 10 microns or below 5 microns even. So when the majority of the particles are below 10 microns or 5 microns, then these existing technology has got some concerns. When the particles become sticky in nature, in couple of fuel characteristics, the dust is very sticky in nature. then these prevailing technology has got certain amount of threat. On top of it, if it is corrosive, then it is a threat for wet systems, wet technology. And if it is hygroscopic in nature, it is again a very big threat for all the prevailing technologies like ESP or the back filter, because it captures the moisture from the atmosphere very fast and then becomes more sticky over a period of time. All these technology has got even more concerns when the alkalis like potassium and sodium salts are present in the ash. And when you have no space for upgradation, the challenges are even more. And all these characteristics are available in many of the fuels being used at the moment in the industry, which include your palm factories like empty fruit bunch, palm shell and fiber, spent wash, a very difficult fuel or the liquid effluent being used in the incinerator nowadays, mustard husk and cane trash. All these what I am reading have something in common with respect to the alkalis, presence of alkalis, or the temperature, or the corrosive, or it has a very ultra fine in some of the cases. Even in MSW case, like in municipal solid waste, there are a lot of challenges while dealing with the existing technologies. Besides this, there are many plants like ESPs are there in many power plants or in the captive power plant. And all these ESPs are due for upgradation after change in the pollution norms. But all these plants are suffering because of no space available to expand the field or upgrade the ESP. So friends, I think we understand now that these are the concerns on the prevailing technology, and the concern areas are these which has got a difficult fuel characteristics. And this need for upgradation, or this need for addressing these concerns, has led to the research on EGB or MEPA. As you know, that need is the mother of all invention. Unless we have need, we are not going to be more innovative. So today, our EGB, what we are going to explain you, taking a case study, particularly on a very, very difficult fuel. Out of these lists, I think this is the most difficult to handle with. It is an spent wash. Spent wash is nothing but a waste from distillery, a liquid waste from distillery. With the zero liquid discharge enforcement by Government of India on most of the on all the distilleries as on date, this liquid effluent is need to be disposed of. And so far people were using biocomposting as an option. But in biocomposting, there are all other type of concerns with respect to the space requirement and other things. So we are not touching that chapter. The alternate which has been created by various boiler manufacturing company right now is establishing this incineration boiler on spent wash with a supporting fuel like bagasse or coal or rice husk. So our today's discussion on EGB will be with respect to this most difficult scenario on spent wash. We will be knowing how the EGB works, and will be taking up a case study from one of the most reputed sugar industry factory in India. So if we come back to the spent wash scenario, you might be knowing that it has a very difficult ash properties. If you look at the ash analysis here, you see that potassium and sodium salt, which are the alkalis, which are more than 45% or about 46% concentration of these alkalis. And the ash sizing, if you look at the particle size distribution of the ash in this graphical representation, you find that about 40% particles are below 10 microns, and out of that Below 1 micron is a sizable quantity in terms of volume. Okay. So the ash properties are difficult. Ash composition is difficult. The sizing is also very, very fine. It has a hygroscopic in nature. And besides this, if you see the quantity on such incineration boiler, you can see the input dust concentration is as high as 30 to 40 grams per normal meter cube. Whereas the desired outlet emissions are 50 or below 50 milligram per nm cube. So here is the case where we have all sorts of difficulties. Having done a lot of research by the boiler manufacturing company and coming forward with establishing the incineration boiler on this particular fuel. Though it has taken a long time, there were a lot of issues in the beginning when it was first put up about a decade back. And now over a period of time, many issues have already got resolved and people are operating these boiler. But still, I say the air pollution or emission control is one of the concern. It still remains in the industry on these applications. So before I take up the actual case study on this particular application, let me tell you what are the different concerns on the prevailing technologies for such kind of fuels. So these are the prevailing technologies which we have discussed. These are the prevailing technologies which we have discussed, like bag filter, ESP, wet scrubber, and wet ESP. Friends, if you look at the existing technologies applying on this particular fuel or applying on such nature of ash characteristics, be it palm shell, EFB, or any other, then we find that bag filter in the present technology is suffering from certain threats, like restricted operating range of temperature in the flue gas. As you know, these fuels are very, very sticky in nature. So lot of fouling takes place on the pressure parts of the boiler, which increases the temperature, exit temperature of the flue gases. Sometimes it goes beyond control, boiler had to be shut down for cleaning. So having a bag filter on such a scenario, because bags are designed for certain temperatures, maximum temperature. And here the minimum temperature is also restricted because of the sticky nature in dust and because of the corrosive nature of dust and the presence of sulfur. So what happens, there is a very restricted band on which these bag filters can operate, and this band is about 180 to 220 degrees C. So this is one area, though the bag filters are running on this application successfully with respect to the emission control. But in the operating side, when we come to the operation side, there are certain issues. High recurring cost is of course an issue, because on this type of particular fuel or the ash, the bag quality has to be very, very good. So most of the places, the 100% PTFE bags are in operation for such. And this has got a limited life. Over the period, the experience has shown that this has got a life of about 2 to 3 years. And it is almost, I would say, 25 to 30% of the cost of the total filter is the bag cost. So replacing these every 3 years is a big headache for the industry, and it is a cost as well. Then high energy consumption, because it has a pressure drop, normal 150 plus as it exists in a bag filter scenario. And the most important and very, very threatful is the fire hazard. Because if your downstream system has got some problem or some stuck up, it is subjected to a very great threat of fire hazard. So bag filter is having these concerns. Friends, are you with me? Are you following what I'm speaking? If yes, please write in the chat box yes, so that I can continue with the same pace. Okay. So you understand the bag filter and its concern. Now coming to the electrostatic precipitator, the normal electrostatic precipitators, the conventional which we are using on this application, or which we are using on similar type of application across the industries. This ash being very sticky in nature, the normal wrapping system does not give the desired results. Because of sticky nature and hygroscopic nature of dust, you need to do a very intensive wrapping to clean the electrodes. And this intensive wrapping, if you do it, it comes at a certain cost of re-entrainment of wrapping, which is again a nuisance as far as the ESP working is concerned, until and unless you have something to follow to capture those re-entrainment dust particulates. The high dust resistivity is also a concern in case of ESPs of this nature, because these particles are difficult to charge as compared to the coal-fired application and other biomass-fired applications. The high quantity of fines, as you have seen the particle size distribution over a graphical representation in the previous slide, there are a lot of high fines in the dust. So because of very heavy fines and the re-entrainment of intensive wrapping system, which has the inconsistency in the efficiency has been observed in ESP scenario. And wrapper re-entrainment, which I've already explained. When it comes to the wet system, wet scrubber or wet ESP on these particular type of applications, in some applications, yes, these are successful, but in particularly on a spent waste fired application, or whenever you have a liquid effluent to be used as a fuel after getting it concentrated, their wet scrubber and wet ESP may not find a right combination of use. The reason being that you are supposed to dispose of the liquid effluent, and while you are disposing of the liquid effluent, and then again you are creating a liquid effluent in the series through wet scrubber or wet ESP. So the wet system may not find a very good use in certain cases on such type of fuels, but yes, on some cases it may find useful if the dust collected is not soluble in water. If the dust collected, most of these dust, because of the this alkalis there in the dust, most of the dust or the most proportion of the dust is soluble in water, which creates a problem for the downstream dewatering system for the wet technology. Because you can't do it by sedimentation process, or you can't separate the solids by any other method, excepting the evaporation to remove the TDS from the system. So it becomes a very hectic for the downstream system to be adopted in wet system. So we know the problem. We know the problem in our existing system, what we have, or the existing prevailing technology. So my friends, so far let me recap what I've explained so far. We have understood that there are certain areas where the existing technologies on ESP, bag filter, wet scrubber, or any other technology, the prevailing technology has got certain concerns. This is what we understood from some slides. We also understood that these are the problems on those areas in the prevailing technology. Technology wise, we have understood this. If you are with me so far, please type yes in the chat box so that I can proceed. If you really feel that yes, there are problems and we need to have something more to it to address these concerns. If you are with me, please type yes in the chat box so that I can move forward. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the response. I think we all understand how it goes. So I just repeat for the sake of remembering these aspects before we go to the next phase of this presentation. The limitations are there whenever we have ultra fine and light dust, whenever we have sticky dust, whenever we have highly corrosive nature of dust, whenever we have hygroscopic nature of dust, whenever we have dust containing high alkalis, or whenever we have very limited space for the system to be deployed or system to be upgraded. So whenever we have such conditions, and with the kind of I mean the non-conventional energy sources what government is pushing for to save upon the fossil fuel, all these all these nature of dust are going to come, and it is already coming, and people are fighting how to resolve these emission issues on these. So what is the solution? We have been working on this for last couple of years, almost 7 years now. The team Enviropol was pushing how to resolve how to resolve these issues whenever such nature of dust is coming from the system. And particularly on a spent wash fired application, our emphasis was how to get rid of the concerns what back filter and ESPs are posing in the industry. So this has led us to reach to a solution with the help of a US based company, rather US based innovator, I would say, graduate from PhD from MIT. In 70s and 80s, there was some research which was done on this gravel bed precipitator. But this research and its application was confined to a particular industry in European and American countries, American installations. It did not spread because of certain reasons, or because of, I do not know what was the reason, but it did not spread too much on the international forum. When we visited our collaborator in Europe a couple of years back, I myself saw one unit running on a wood chips fired application where there was a lot of tar coming out from the system. So when I saw that there are a lot of issues, we studied the issues coming up on ESP and back filter, and then we thought of trying this technology on one installation. And I'm happy to announce this, that the first installation in the world of this on this application of EGB has been tested, is commissioned, under operation, with the help of a very renowned sugar industry in India, that is Dorala Sugar Works. So I would be taking you to a case study, particularly on this particular installation. You can see in the photograph, it is an installation from Dorala Sugar Works on a spent wash fired application. As you know, Dorala is one of the known factory in the sugar industry in India and abroad. They feel pride in taking the first step in the industry. They have tried and tested, successfully commissioned so many new technologies, and have always been the flag bearer to the industry. Be it the sieve tray scrubber in 1990, or be it a dryer, the gas dryer, or be it a wet ESP in the sugar industry, first installation again in the world, or be it this EGB, which is also first in the world on this particular application. So I thank you, Dorala Sugar Works, from bottom of my heart, for giving this opportunity and giving this ray of hope to the industry to resolve this problem. Thank you very much, Dorala Sugar Works. So we start the EGB or the MEPA. I'll tell you what is MEPA and what is EGB when we proceed with the presentation in further slides. So EGB, as I explained to you, is an electrified gravel bed precipitator. It is a dry system which is again electrostatic precipitation. So you can just think that it is an ESP of different kind. You can have this analogy with this ESP. But what is MEPA? MEPA is nothing but a hybrid EGB which is the combination of dry ESP, maybe a smaller dry ESP as a pre-dust collector, followed by EGB. The combination is called MAPA, Maximum Efficiency Particulate Abatement System. So my friends, having DESP before EGB is basically to work as a pre-dust collection, and whatever left out from ESP can be handled by the EGB, and this combination can work nicely, and it has worked nicely. So let me take you to the case study from Dorala Sugar Works, particularly on this fuel. First, I'll tell you how the whole concept was conceived, and then we will be going into the EGB technology more in detail, because EGB is having a lot of other applications as well. It is not limited to only this MEPA. It can be used as an standalone equipment as well in many other applications, having very difficult nature of dust. So in case of MEPA, how it works, as you know, as I explained to you, the input dust concentration from this particular application of slow fired application, it has 30 to 40 milligrams of dust per normal meter cube, and 40 to 45% particles are below 10 microns. So what we have done in this particular application, we have used a two-field ESP to bring down the dust level from 30 to 40 grams to about 1000 milligram, or to about 2000 milligram per nm cube in the ESP itself. And most of the fines which are left out by the ESP, which are below 5 microns or 10 microns, they are passing through a attached EGB as a secondary cleaning or as a polishing filter. So what happens, the already charged particles from the ESP, they entered into the EGB, wherein they are captured in the polarized gravel bed, because the particles are having a negatively charged already in the ESP, and they then come in the contact of the gravel bed, which is a moving electrified gravel bed. And then particles are captured even below 10 micron particles, even below 2.5 micron particles, or get captured, and you have a much consistent efficiency as compared to standalone systems. Much better quality of flue gas coming out of this. So we all know about ESP, so we are not discussing about conventional ESPs, though the ESPs on this particular application have got certain amount of innovative things have done, and these are no more a absolutely normal ESP because of the sticky nature and other complication in the dust quality. So we are not discussing that ESP as a whole. So let me discuss the polishing filter EGB in particular in this presentation. What is EGB and how it works? Guys, are you with me so far? If yes, please say yes in the chat box. So what is EGB? While on this, I would just like to make a request to all my friends. It's a request. Please respect the IP, intellectual property on this. Please do not click photograph from on these slides now onwards. If somebody needs some information on this, we can give them, send them separately an extract of this presentation. So please avoid taking pictures. This is my request. Please respect the IP. Okay. So what is an ESP? What is an EGB? Sorry. What is an EGB? As you can see from the screen, it is known as an electrified gravel bed precipitator. The electrostatically charged particles can be collected with a very high efficiency in the granular bed. When I say granular bed, is a gravels, the stones. So these gravels are electrostatically polarized because gravels are not the conductor of electricity, so they cannot be charged and they cannot have a migration. So it is electrostatically polarized, and this technology is using this polarization of gravels to capture the negatively charged particles and stick to the gravels. And if you see the collecting surface area of this gravel bed precipitator vis-a-vis the normal ESP collecting surface area, in the 1/3 or even less than 1/3 of the space, it has 20 times more collecting surface, because the gravel bed, the small gravels are packed together and there is a wall type of construction with 400 to 700 millimeter of thickness. So if you calculate the total surface area, which is a collecting surface area, it is 20 times, 10 to 20 times more than a normal ESP. And this particular installation, if it is designed for 10 milligram, can achieve even below 10 milligram dust emissions. So how it works? I just explain you how it works. Yes. If you look at the diagram, yes, if you look at the diagram, you can see there is a there is a cylindrical vessel. And let me tell you, this system can be designed from top entry or bottom entry. Both ways are possible. And in the diagram, it is shown the top entry at the moment. The gas is coming and passing through a cylinder, inner cylinder, and the outer cylinder. This is the outer cylinder, which has got a gravel bed, and this gravel bed is embedded with discharge electrode. Okay, and these discharge electrodes are connected with a TR set, similar to ESP, but the KVs are different. Here it is 10 to 20 kV is good enough for polarizing this gravel bed. And if you see these gravel beds, as it receives the high voltage, it gets polarized. One side of the surface gets positive charge and the other side of the surface gets negative charge. So what happens when the gas is passing through the inner cylinder and then taking a path through this bed of electrostatically charged or polarized gravel bed, and it comes out and goes to the chimney. So during this process of this travel of the gases, what happens? This gravel beds, it is a packed gravel bed. So first separation is due to the mechanical separation because of this gravel. And second, on top of it is the separation because of the polarized gravel bed. The particles, very fine particles, gets stick to the gravels, and the clean gas goes upward. And this gravel is moving from top to bottom vertically down in the periphery of the cylinder and then coming out. So the dust soaked gravels are coming out, and there is a gravel cleaner here. It's a mechanical cleaning through a pneumatic air. And then gravels are cleaned and ash is dislodged from the gravel and taken to a cyclonic separator or a bag filter depending on the application. And then the ash is collected at the bottom, and this gas is put back into the main stream. And these gravels are collected back on the bucket elevator bottom boot and then taken up and then getting circulated. So gravels are continuously circulating. It is under a recirculation mode, coming down, going up, and then again coming down. In case of a stand-alone EGB installation, we have an additional equipment called this charging station. So this charges the negative particles to a negative charge. So this is called ionizer. When this installation is in the downstream of ESP, this ionizer is not required because the particles are already coming charged, negatively charged from the ESP. So if you look at the total diagram, it is a very simple equipment, but very difficult in construction, of course, but the operation is very, very simple. Once it is constructed nicely, it operates without much of an intervention. Okay, so the main crux of this design is to have a moving gravel bed and a charging of gravel bed to the tune of 10 to 20 kV. Okay, as regard to the pressure drop in the system, it can be controlled by controlling the speed of this gravel bed movement. If you run it faster, the pressure drop decreases. If you run it at a low speed, the pressure drop can go up. So depending on the efficiency requirement, we set this speed of the gravel bed, evacuation speed, and depending on the efficiency requirement and the sizing of your particulates, the gravel size is decided. If you have a bigger gravels, the efficiency may be low, but pressure drop would be low. So this is a complete system. So as I explained to you, if you can see inside view of this, the gas is coming and then passing through this gravel bed. These are the emitting electrodes which are connected with the TR set. This is the ionizer, and rest of the equipments I've already explained to you. This is a gravel cleaner followed by a bucket elevator and then a gravel distributor, cyclonic separator, and this is your gravel cleaner. Okay. So what are the advantages of EGB as a whole? If you use it as a polishing filter in the downstream of any other system, any other conventional system, APC system, then the first advantage, as I explained to you, the large collecting surface, which is 10 to 20 times more than the ESP. The gas distribution is even because you have a pressure drop of 60 to 100 mm of water column designed across the bed. It depends on the efficiency requirement, but we have a bed across the bed 60 to 100 on a design conditions. Okay, so when the pressure drop is there, the gas distribution issue is not there. You can have a evenly distributed gas across the periphery of the filter. Low power consumption. As I explained to you, there is no current flowing from the gravel. Gravel is not a conductor of electricity. It is just a polarized plus and minus side. When there is no current flowing, there is no power. So the power consumption is zero as far as the main unit is concerned. Whatever is written here, 10 watt per 1000 meter cube per hour of gases, is exclusively on the auxiliaries like your feeder or you have bucket elevator and all. But the main unit, the main electrostatic unit is not having any power consumption. It is only voltage. There is no current flowing. Current is almost zero. It shows on the screen zero when everything is going smooth, unless and until there is some moisture creeping in. Okay. So high efficiency on some micron particulate matters. I think this is maybe clear to all of us that when you have a bed of such a thick bed and that bed is charged electrically, and when the gas is passing through such a heavy bed without any escaping route all across the periphery, the particles are bound to get trapped. There is no escaping route left out of for these particles to escape to the atmosphere. Even if the gravels are not charged, we have seen it operating in one of the European country that without even charging, just as a normal mechanical filter, it was giving around 60 to 80 milligram of dust emissions. Though the system was designed in a normal operating condition for 20 milligram, and with the charging it was giving around 3 to 5 milligram. But when we switch off the TR set and see the performance, the emissions rate went up from 5 milligram to 60 milligram. That means even if there is some electrical fault in the system, even if there is some shutdown of TR set or other electrical circuit, your efficiency is going to be maintained up to a very high standards. So this is the beauty of the system as against your normal electrically operated system like ESP. Another very important that it can handle the high resistivity dust particulate, because here the dust resistivity does not play a role. Like in ESP, it has a very critical role in migration of the particles. But in this particular technology, higher the dust resistivity, there is no problem. Even it has a better efficiency, because there is no migration of particles, there is no current carrying across the system. So the resistivity does not play a role. So when you have a high resistivity or unknown resistivity on which it is difficult to design a normal conventional ESP, we can think of opting this as a downstream system, as a safeguard for the emissions level. I take this no wrapping re-entrainment as one of the most critical parameter or the advantage of this system. Like most of the ESPs are having a problem in wrapping re-entrainment and deposition on the electrode for such fuel. It's a trouble running an standalone ESP on these applications. Because here all the collecting surface what you have is coming out of the system for cleaning in a gravel cleaner. So there is nothing left out inside which can keep building. Like in ESP, because your collecting surface is inside, you cannot clean it unless the wrapping cleans it. So here there is an opportunity that everything is coming out, all the collecting surface is coming out gradually outside the system, and cleaning is being done in a separate chamber, which is not electrostatically charged at all. So you can see it, you can visualize it, how the cleaning is being done. So it can handle high resistivity dust, no wrapping re-entrainment, gravels are clean outside, it has a modular shape design. If you look at the picture, this is designed, these blue cylinders what you see on the screen is designed for almost 35 meter cube per second of flue gas volume. So you can see how small these are. So the footprints are very small. In power plant or captive power plant ESPs, it can even be accommodated in the outlet funnel of ESP without having the requirement of extra footprints when you want to expand or upgrade the ESP. So these are the advantages which are very prominent, which we found that if the technology can get a good opening, if it can be applied nicely in different or in varieties of application, it can have wonders in the industry to get a collection of very fine particulates which are coming as a respiratory threat for the people across. So the major USP, if you look at this, are compact sizing, capable of handling high resistivity dust, no maintenance prone wrapping system, capable to reduce the particulate below 10 micron. These are the highlights of this EGB if you look at and summarize in one point. Okay, these are the internal inside view of EGB. I would just explain to you before that. I just like to check with everyone if It is going well. Everything is understood. If yes, please say yes in the chat box. Barring the questions, yes, we will take up the questions definitely in the last. But barring the questions, the concept is followed. If yes, please write yes in the chat box. Friends, as I told you, this particular equipment is pretty complicated in construction. But if it is constructed well, and once it is designed well, the operation and maintenance are very, very simple. Very simple. The most important thing is that how you have designed it and constructed it. So if you look at the inside view of ESP, you can see the complications from the screen. You can realize that it contains 13 items which are integrated with each other. I mean, all these 13 items are there in the very small space. So the layout, fixing, and the integration of these small items, it has more than 2,000 components which are assembled together. So if you look at the screen, it starts from EGB structure, bottom cone, inner filter mesh, electrode, pre-filter, lowers. Let me tell you, couple of internals are imported, still imported in this particular technology from European countries. We are trying to make it in India, those components as well. But at the moment, our agreement and the technology agreement with the companies do not allow that. But over a period of time, we are pursuing the matter to reduce the cost of the equipment. And then you have outer casing, then insulator, top cone, grid separator. Yes, grid separator is an equipment here which is attached to the system. What happens over a period of time when gravel keeps circulating, there are some dust formation due to the frictional effect between the gravels. So gravels also get eroded over a period of time. So the grid separator is there. When this very fine gravels are there, they are separated continuously from the system and taken out, and the makeup quantity of gravels is filled back. High voltage TR set, hopper and bucket elevator. What you see on the right most is the electrode, is the discharge electrode case. It does not have a single electrode across the periphery. It is a complete case which is acting as a electrode for polarizing the gravel bed. So since it is made from thick pipes and the rods, it has got a very good life. I have seen it running. I mean, the information or the feedback from other country is that it has a life of about 15 to 17 years. The installation which was done in 2003, and they have replaced this in 2017. So it has got a good life as far as this particular electrodes are concerned, unlike a normal ESP where these electrodes are very, I mean, delicate to operate. You can see a small video at the left hand side, the gravel bed which is moving. So this movement is very slow, very slow. You have to see it very carefully to observe this. And the gas is passing through this, and these gravels are polarized already. So I run it again. And if you look at on the right hand side, it is the filter collection efficiency, and you can see that even at 1 micron particulate sizing, the efficiency is touching almost 99% or plus at 10 kV voltage. If you increase the voltage, it is touching almost 100%. And even below 1 micron, the 0.5 micron is also having such a great efficiency on 10 kV, and then 0.2 micron also having an efficiency of about 99%. So when it comes to the very fine particulates PM 2.5 or below, this equipment can find a very good space and create its own advantage for any application uh, wherever it can be applied. Now I'll show you a video how the dust soaked or dust laden gravels are coming out from the system for cleaning and going to the gravel cleaner. So on right hand side, you can see this. This is the gravels soaked with highly alkaline ash, which has lot of potassium content, is coming out whitish in color. And these gravels are taken to a gravel cleaner, and on the right hand side you have this gravel cleaner. You can see these gravels are getting cleaned with the air pressure, and then air is sucked, which is a very small quantity of air. It is sucked, and then dense air and solid ash mixture is separated through a cyclone or a bag filter, depending on the application. It's a very small cyclone having a dia of about 800 to 1 meter for this application. Okay, and then you can see the cleaned gravel coming out from that. And on the left hand side, a clean bed when it was filled in the beginning without charging. This is the boiler layout, which has a lower footprint as compared to the normal footprint with ESP or bag filter. This is the SCADA screen. You can see the complete layout starting from two-field ESP to gravel filter, and then gravel cleaner and bucket elevator, and then distributor, and this ash handling system, which is mechanical ash handling, which is taking the ash directly through this bucket to the ash silo and to the trolley. And you can, if you can look at the screen, if you look at the screen, you can see that the current in the TR set is almost 0 here. And delta P at that point of time was around 100 to 100 mm across EGB. This being the first installation, there are good amount of learning. We have done a lot of learning in the installation, and every new installation is going to have something added for an improvement in future. This is an overall comparison. If you look at a glance between bag filter, DESP means dry ESP, and MEPA. And if you see the achievable outlet emissions, you can have a better control in this hybrid of ESP and EGB mixed together as compared to others. The pressure drop is of course very close to bag filter, but it is less than bag filter. Of course, it is around 125 to 150. Auxiliary power consumption is less as compared to other two prevailing technologies. Footprint is of course less. There are two stages of separation here because of the mechanical gravel bed separation, ESP separation, and then electrostatically charged as a part of gravel bed. The safe operating range, it has no restriction on the higher side of the temperature. You can go as high as 300, which is not possible in case of other two technologies, especially in bag filter. Maintenance cost, it is tentatively calculated at the moment, because we do not have experience so far in the Indian industry how much it is going to come, but on the face of it we are feeling that maintenance cost of bag filter is the highest, followed by ESP, and then MEPA. Effect due to high resistivity, it has no effect due to high resistivity. Periodic cleaning is not required if it is running well within the stipulated parameters. Suitability for sticky and hygroscopic dust, the bag filter, as you know, is moderate on this. DESP is very poor, whereas the MEPA can work nicely on this. And fire hazard is not there at all, because the gravel acts as a quencher for the burning particles even if it comes. So this is the overall comparison between the prevailing technologies. Friends, having seen this presentation on a for a particular application, and I tell you that this is the most difficult application. The other applications which I have told you in the beginning are simpler than this, because this slope has got all sorts of negative elements as far as the pollution control is concerned. The others are going to be much simpler. These EGBs are running even in the on coal-fired boiler in the industry across globe. It is running on other applications such as wood, such as palm, fiber, and even on EFB, it can be a very good use. Besides this, we have discussed with our collaborators and the black liquor fired application in paper industry, which is again a very difficult fuel, again a liquid effluent, and very difficult fuel to burn and then control on emissions. So there it can work as a MEPA on black in the paper industry. So for the people or for the industries or plant having an ESP already, but the ESPs are not meeting the current norms of Pollution Control Board. Besides, they do not have a space to upgrade the ESP to extend the field, because I have seen in many of the industry people have tried even adding the field, but after certain amount of fines they still escape. Even on this spent wash, people have tried adding two more field after fourth field, that means fifth and sixth, but still the emission levels have not come down to the desired level. Because what happens, this wrapper re-entrainment are very high, number one. Number two, the particles which are below 2.5 or 5 microns, they are escaping from the ESP. So sometimes adding the field may not be a solution at all. But on a conventional boiler, even if adding a field is a solution on conventional fossil fuel like coal and lignite, and if people do not have a space to do that, then also this EGB can be fitted within a very limited space. In some of the installation, even the space of outlet funnel, like you can see the layout on the bottom, even the space which is there for the outlet funnel, EGB can be placed within that. So there may not be requirement of any additional space, and thereby this becomes a very favorable and option for the industry to look for the upgradation of existing ESP, besides seeing it as an option for difficult fuels, as I explained. These are a couple of overseas installations photographs. The rightmost is the on a wood chips fired boiler application, which we had seen before bringing this technology to India. So the conclusion, we are reaching to the end of the presentation. Before we start the question and answer session, let me summarize what we have learned since the first slide. We first discuss about the difficult areas or the concern areas of the industry as far as the emission control is concerned. Then later on we see and discussed about the problems in the existing or the prevailing technologies on those difficult situations. Then we realize, yes, we need something new to address this concern, and then we discussed on electrified gravel bed precipitator. In addition to that, we also discussed about MEPA, and then we compared how those difficult situations can be met with this technology. We made a gap analysis as well, like difficult sticky nature, no problem here because the gravels are coming out for cleaning. Resistivity, no problem here because there is no migration and the current flowing here. So we had mapped under the advantages slide, we have mapped all those concerns and how those concerns are addressed in this particular technology. Then we had gone through a actual case study from Dorala Sugar Works on a spent wash fired application, particularly on this difficult fuel. And now, then further we see the internal construction and the operability and how it works of the EGB. And then we see its internal construction, how it is working. And then we see the comparison of all the technologies besides a DCS output of the system. So now, having done all these things, we can easily conclude that this technology is suited to achieve very low emissions. On a difficult applications, as we explained, where the resistivity is high or unknown, even sometimes the unknown resistivity is also play havoc in the ESP designs. So this here is an opportunity to use this. When the sticky nature of dust is there, this has a smaller footprint, a very compact footprint, low power consumption as compared to other conventional technologies. Besides this, besides these difficult operating conditions on particular fuels, we also have discussed and seen that this particular technology can be applied for upgrading the old ESPs in any plant working on any fuel. But due to space limitation, there is a constraint of upgrading the ESP by extending the field. So EGB can be put in as a part of expansion and the upgradation. Friends, I hope I have been able to clear myself on the EGB technology. If you have any question now, we are entering to a question and answer. So for my international friends, you can see we have the overseas branches or our agency network in Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, Kenya, and Sri Lanka. So all our viewers from international community, you can contact accordingly to our branch offices. Thank you very much. Thank you once again listening so patiently on this technology. I hope we have got some benefit today to learn a new technology which can be applied to various applications.